You're still watching Morning Rush, and as we continue celebrating women in this month of March, today in studio we're honored to have two beautiful ladies. I'm flanked by two beauties here. I'm sure you can see, and with us today is Lillian Sibocha and Debbie Mutebuka. And Lillian is the founder of Beauty for Ashes, a Christ-centered women's ministry under Calvary Apostolic Assembly, together with Debbie. So Lillian, I'll start with you. So, Beauty for Ashes. Just tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you started this organization. What does it even mean?
Beauty for Ashes, it basically means that, God can turn a broken person into to make them a beautiful person. So he can take our ashes and make something better with them, with those ashes. So it speaks more of the transformative power of God to turn any woman, regardless of what circumstances they've experienced, what challenges they've faced, he can give them beauty. So that is what Beauty for Ashes is about.
Yeah, because I was wondering, I'm looking in the same sentence, there's beauty, there's ashes, and I was wondering, where is the connection? Oh, so it's all centered on the Creator.
It's all centered on that, but for it to be birthed, it was birthed from my experiences. I experienced child abuse when I was about 12 years old. I experienced abuse in a marriage, which almost destroyed my life. But despite all those circumstances, I fought against all odds and didn't let circumstances determine my future. But I got the understanding that, my future is in God's hand because he created me in his own image and he loves me and I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. So it made me not focus on those negatives that have happened in my life and focus on how I can become a better person and how I can make an impact even to other women, encouraging them, saying it doesn't matter what you've been through, it doesn't matter what you're going through, but you can be who God has called you to be. So that's how Beauty for Ashes, God inspired me to run with that vision to empower women.
Hey, I'm so glad, from a position that you were in, trying to create something beautiful for other women who are probably going through the same things that you went through. Yeah. So, Debbie, how do you come in?
Well, Calvary Apostolic Assembly is the church that we both go to. So this Beauty for Ashes is then under Calvary Apostolic Assembly. So that's where I more of come in. So we're working together with the church to then inspire the women all over the world.
So when I look at, trying to inspire, obviously you need to be a role model, to these women. And I look at you here, wonderfully, fearfully made. Obviously, God is playing a very important role in your life. Yeah. How key or how important is God in everything that you do?
God has to be the center of everything because challenges that women face, if they focus on them, some they tend to drugs, some they seek help elsewhere, but you can never get all the answers. But the answer is in God because you have to go to the beginning. It's God who created you, who made you. So society should not shape who you are. So to me, as a role model, despite all those situations, all the circumstances that I've faced, I could be here all day to relate all of them. So we are here to talk about Beauty for Ashes because next year we'll be back. So maybe people can come and connect. So with being a role model, I went to Chaplain High School. And I went to the United Kingdom. I qualified as a nurse. Okay. And now I am CEO of a healthcare company. So nice. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you can go through. If you make Christ the center of your life, he will turn your ashes into beauty.
In studio, we're joined by two women, Lillian and Debbie, as we are talking about beauty, beautiful ashes. So what are the initiatives that you guys are offering the women? What are you doing for women, you know, to make sure whatever situations they find themselves in, you guys are also coming in and motivate them, help them, uplift them? What are the initiatives that you're doing?
So basically, we are after that woman who's at their lowest point, who've given up on life, who doesn't know what to do, which next steps to take. So that's where we're coming in. We're providing counseling for them. We've got a team of lawyers who are also in the team for those who need that. We've got healthcare professionals as well who are helping us to do that. So what we're basically doing is just not to provide the spiritual support of things, but also to be practical, because we live in a practical world. So we want to give the women, you know, practical support so that they can be able to stand on their own.
It's not only about giving them Bible verses.
No.
Yeah, we need to face life as it is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we live in a real world.
Exactly.
So since we are living in a real world, maybe you can share a story of a woman that you have helped, a woman who was downtrodden, a woman who was suffering.
We've helped so many women. When we came to Zimbabwe to launch Beautiful Ashes in Zimbabwe last year, one of the practical things that we did, we went to Chikurubi Maximum Prison for Women. And, you know, sharing the love of Christ with those women was absolutely mind-blowing, because you don't look at them as women in prison who've committed crimes, who've done this, but you go to them and approach them with love and tell them, you know, it doesn't matter the mistakes that you've made that have brought you here, but God still loves you. So it means even when you come out, you can have a choice to turn your life around. And we managed to we donated some toiletries for over 200 women, which included some clothing, and we clothed about 13 children who were born in prison. And we hired a chef to make special meals for a special meal that day we went to prison. So they had chicken, they had rice, they had coleslaw salad, they had everything, they had drinks. It was such an amazing time, and we even had Tembalami go with us to sort of sing to these women. So it was absolutely amazing. So that's one of the things that we've done. We've helped in the United Kingdom in here. We've helped so many women, and there's one girl that we helped fund for her treatment who was in Chikurubi. We identified she was unwell. She was bleeding excessively, and we managed to help her pay with the medical bills at Parenyatwa Hospital. So we're not about just being, you know, Christ is the center of everything, but we want to be practical, because the gospel is practical. So you can't just say, okay, go, God bless you, oh, it is well, you're going to be fine, but okay, if I'm hungry, feed me. If I'm in need, help me. So this is what we try to do to women, and also to empower them. That's why we have a team of professionals that can teach women to up their skills. If we identify, we can provide some seminars where they are taught. Some people may not have money to go to college, to enroll in college, but we can have a team amongst ourselves. We've got interior designers who can come and do a workshop just teaching you, this is how you can, you know, design your home, or this is how you can look after yourself. When we did Beautiful Ashes this year, we had a health and well-being. So we had a medical professional who came to just talk about easy remedies that people can eat. You don't have to go and buy expensive things to be healthy. So it's those practical things that we are doing to empower women.
Great. So when I look at what you guys are, it's very commendable what you guys are doing. But in terms of help, well, obviously you can't do it just by the two of you. So you also need to reach out to a lot of people. You're talking about medical professionals that are also coming in to help. In terms of resources, how are you putting together resources? Are you going out there to also ask people to come in and donate?
We do have well-wishers who've helped us from the ministry in the UK, in Poland, and in Ireland. But of course, we're open to more. So if there are people, of course, who would like to help us support the ministry, then we would be very grateful.
So not to leverage on the situation that you grew up in, but when I go to the Bible, one of my favorite verses comes from Isaiah 55, verse 8, 9, talks about, God saying, your ways are not my ways,
That's
your
right.
thoughts are not my thoughts. That's how big our God
That's
is.
right.
Because you might look at your situation and think, okay, my world is ended, but look at you now, but there are a lot of women out there, who don't see a future. Women who are only thinking about maybe committing suicide.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what message do you have to such women?
To such women, the message that I have is that God loves you, and you are worth more than money can ever buy. You are special to God. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And God has got a plan and a purpose with your life. You don't have to end it because He gave it to you freely. But He loves you and He just wants you to come to Him, to trust in His amazing love, because He can give you beauty for ashes. I've experienced it. I've walked it. I'm not ashamed to talk of my experiences because I know there is somebody who may be experiencing domestic violence right now. There is somebody who may have experienced child abuse right now, but you don't see your worth. But your worth is not determined by your circumstances, by where you've been, but your worth is in Christ, just knowing that He fearfully and wonderfully made you, and He's got a plan and a purpose with your life. So He's got the best for you. So don't give up on life. Don't give up on God, but you can come to Him. He says, come to me, all ye that labor and are heavily laden, I'll give you rest. Come and exchange those ashes for beauty that comes from God. He loves you. He loves you so much. Don't give up.
Last week you had an event at Celebration Center. Theme was Arise and Shine. What was that all about?
So Arise and Shine, we when we thought of that theme, we thought that, of course, people have been going through a lot. The women have obviously experienced a lot, but it's now time to, sort of like push away those problems and step into the light that God has given them. So that's what we were trying to push for. And it was a really beautiful event, wonderful ministration from Minister Elad and Tembalami as well. So it was really amazing.
So, in case, there are women who are watching right now, or even men, who are also, because there are men who go through the same things.
Definitely.
Because I've spoken, because there is that notion, because as men, we are taught to be stoic. Growing up, the way we are socialized, you're taught, vakomana avacheme, murume acheme, but at the end of the day, we are emotional beings. What you go through, I also go through. But for people like that, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, we do have a Facebook page. It's called Beauty for Ashes. So if they just search Beauty for Ashes on Facebook, they'll be able to reach out to us.
So your story is so inspiring. It embodies resilience. And obviously, sometimes I feel like, life is closing in on me. I don't even have the willpower to kneel down and pray. How do you encourage somebody who is in a situation like that?
The Bible says, in your weakness, God's strength is made perfect. So sometimes it's in those weakest moments when you think you're alone, you're not alone. And God is right there with you. So you don't have to be discouraged. You don't have to stay down, because sometimes life, when I faced those challenges, it was difficult, it was hard, but I had to encourage myself. I had to believe what God says about me. I had to look at myself and believe what God says about me. If He says I'm special, that's what He says. I'm the apple of His eye. I'm loved by Him. That's what I believed. So even in your lowest moments, when you can't even have any words to pray, even just to say, God help me, He turns up. You know, God is not so far away like we think. He's not in many things that we think. He is there. He is a silent listener to every conversation. He sees your pain. He sees where you are. He's the one who sees the woman in the Bible who was cast away, Haggai, when she went in the wilderness, and he called it, she called him the God who sees, because God saw her. She was rejected. She was cast away. She was a mistress that was sent away. Maybe there is somebody who may have been or who is in that place, but God sees you. And it doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter what you've touched. It doesn't matter how many, I've made many mistakes in my life, but I'm standing because of the grace of God. So just reach out to him. It doesn't matter where you are.
So as we close, yes, beautiful ashes. You're looking at the downtrodden. You're looking at those beautiful, but broken souls. But when you look at the overarching, you are also spreading the gospel here.
Yes.
When you go to Matthew 28:19, go ye therefore and preach. You are also preaching. Are there any outreach programs that you are, trying to do maybe the rest of the year?
Yes, we've actually got a crusade starting tomorrow in Murewa. So we're going to be ministering there. We do quite a lot of outreach programs. We've got another beautiful ashes coming up in Ireland. So we are really looking forward and excited. Our church, Calvary Apostolic Assembly, does so many outreaches. And we don't only target, we're not like, oh, we are Calvary Apostolic Assembly. We go into all the world. Because it may be a person from Zayoja, a person from AFM, somebody maybe needs this gospel, needs the encouragement. So we go to everyone. So we do quite a lot of outreach programs.
Thank you so much. Beautiful ashes. The founder, Lillian Sibocha, and Debbie Mutebuga, thank you so much for coming through to Morning Rush. And please don't stop spreading the word. There are a lot of broken, souls out there. And you are doing your part, like what God entrusted all of us. But thank you so much for coming through to Morning Rush.
Thank you for having us.
Konapo, ipapo.